Do you remember our last conversation about war and peace? We talked about how India had to struggle for its independence from the British for many centuries. Post-independence, our country has had to fight several wars to protect its borders, territorial integrity, and its people. This made me wonder, who were these brave Indian people? They fought to protect our country and sacrificed their lives so that we could lead our lives in peace. What were their names? Where did they come from? Does anyone remember anything about them? Last week, I got the answers to some of my questions during an educational trip to New Delhi, organized by our school. You may recall I was looking forward to this trip and our visit to many places of historical and educational significance. I learned several new and interesting things, and I am excited to share them with you. Let me begin by asking you to guess the name of the monument that I found most inspiring. Let's see if you can guess. The construction of this monument started in April 2018 and was completed in February 2019. It was envisioned and then inaugurated by India's Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi in February 2019. In terms of location and size, it is spread over 40 acres of land near the iconic India Gate. But more importantly, it is a tribute to some of the bravest Indians. I'm sure you've guessed. It's the National War Memorial. Won't you say, a long-desired aspiration was fulfilled? Our visit to the National War Memorial began with our teacher explaining that even after independence, India has had to fight many wars to protect itself, and the freedom and security we enjoy today is because of the many brave men and women who have served in the Indian Armed Forces over decades. Sadly, she said, war always takes its toll, and therefore, many brave soldiers have had to sacrifice their lives for the country even after our independence in 1947. This is what makes monuments like the National War Memorial extremely important, so that we should never forget the cost of freedom. We are aware, always, of the pain and horrors of war. We learned that each brick of the memorial is called a tablet, and it bears the names of soldiers who fought for India and made the supreme sacrifice in different wars from 1947 till date, including the Indo-China conflict of 1962, the Indo-Pak Wars in 1965 and 1971, and the Kargil War in 1999. There are 29,000 tablets on which more than 26,000 names of fallen soldiers have been etched. It was heartening to know that our government has recognized the sacrifice of brave soldiers. Our teacher told us about the 21 Bravehearts who were awarded the Paramveer Chakra, India's highest wartime gallantry medal, for their service to the nation. She also told us about Mahavir Chakra, Kirti Chakra, Veer Chakra, and Shaurya Chakra. Major Somnath Sharma was posthumously awarded India's first PVC in the Battle of Badgam in 1947. Later, some more PVCs were awarded for exceptional gallantry during the India-China conflict of 1962 and the India-Pakistan War of 1965. Besides, a PVC was also awarded for service during the UN peacekeeping operations in Congo. In the 1971 war, some of the heroes who were awarded the PVC posthumously include Lance Naik Albert Eka, Flying Officer Nirmaljit Singh Sikon, Second Lieutenant Arun Katarpal, and Major Hoshiar Singh. Some Navy personnel, including Captain Mahendra Nath Mullah, were also awarded the MVC for their exemplary courage and leadership. Lance Naik Albert Eka was in the left forward company of a battalion of the Brigade of Guards during their attack on the enemy defense at Gangasagar on the Eastern Front. This was a well-fortified position held in strength by the enemy. The assaulting troops were subjected to intense shelling and heavy small arms fire, but they charged on to the objective and were locked in bitter hand-to-hand combat. Lance Naik Albert Eka noticed an enemy light machine gun inflicting heavy casualties on his company. With complete disregard to his personal safety, he charged the enemy bunker, bayoneted 2 enemy soldiers, and silenced the light machine gun. Though seriously wounded in this encounter, he continued to fight alongside his comrades through the mile-deep objective, clearing bunker after bunker with undaunted courage. Towards the northern end of the objective, one enemy medium machine gun opened up from the second story of a well-fortified building, inflicting heavy casualties and holding up the attack. Once again, this gallant soldier, without worrying about his personal safety, despite his serious injury and the heavy volume of enemy fire, crawled forward till he reached the building and lobbed a grenade through the loophole of the bunker, killing one enemy and injuring the other. The medium machine gun, however, continued to fire. With outstanding courage and grim determination, Lance Nike Albert Eka scaled a sidewall and, entering the bunker, bayoneted the enemy who was still firing and thus silenced the machine gun, saving further casualties to his company and ensuring the success of the attack. In this process, however, he received serious injuries and succumbed to them after the capture of the objective. In this action, Lance Nike Albert Eka displayed the most conspicuous valor, determination, and made the supreme sacrifice in the best traditions of the Army. As we continued our visit around the National War Memorial, we came across another important installation called Amar Jawan Jyoti that commemorates our soldiers. The name, as you may have guessed, represents an immortal flame that is kept ablaze all through the day and night to revere the sacrifices of our soldiers. Earlier, the Amar Jawan Jyoti, which also displayed a rifle and a helmet, was lighted under the Arch of India Gate in January 1972 to commemorate India's victory in the India-Pakistan War of 1971. The National War Memorial now includes Amar Jawan Jyoti in the obelisk, which is surrounded by 4 chakras. During the inauguration, the Prime Minister lit a new flame to commemorate the fallen heroes. Later, the old flame at India Gate was also merged with the new flame at the National War Memorial. Here is a picture of the new Amar Jawan Jyoti if you haven't seen it. You can see the obelisk surrounded by wreaths that have been placed as a mark of respect. The lighting design is planned in such a way that it transforms the monument's landscape as sunlight changes from dawn to dusk. It truly is a majestic sight that filled me with pride for our nation. I was also overwhelmed by the interminable flame as a metaphor for eternal stories of courage and valor. Our teacher also explained the significance of the chakras to us. I found it interesting and hence sharing with you. The National War Memorial consists of 4 concentric circles, which are known as Amar Chakra, Virta Chakra, Tyag Chakra, and Raksha Chakra, around a 15-meter-tall central obelisk with the eternal flame, the Amar Jawan Jyoti. It also houses bronze and stone murals and graphic panels. Isn't it amazing? The innermost circle represents the Amar Chakra, also known as the Circle of Immortality. This has the obelisk with eternal flame. The Amar Jawan Jyoti flame symbolizes the immortality of the spirit of fallen soldiers with the assurance that the nation will never forget their sacrifice. The second circle is called the Virta Chakra, which is also known as the Circle of Bravery. There is a covered gallery that exhibits 6 murals crafted in bronze depicting valiant battle actions of our armed forces. The third circle represents the Tyag Chakra, also known as the Circle of Sacrifice. The circular concentric walls of honor symbolize the ancient war formation, which is called Chakravyuh. The walls are covered with granite tablets. An individual tablet is solely dedicated to each fallen hero of post-independent India. Their names are etched in golden letters. The outermost circle represents the Raksha Chakra, which is also known as the Circle of Protection. In this chakra, the row of trees is a reassurance to the citizens of the country about their safety against any threat. Each tree represents the soldiers who ensure the territorial integrity of the nation. We spent the whole day, from morning to evening, at the National War Memorial and the surrounding areas, marked by majestic lawns and grand buildings of Kartavya Path. We were immersed in the ambience that was solemn and a reminder of what a free nation could achieve. The overall environment created an emotive experience that was visually inspiring. I felt as if I had developed bond with the place. I learned a lot, but I also have to admit that the various discourses on the day brought tears to my eyes. It was sad to think about the massive devastation and loss of life caused by wars. It motivated me to live a life worthy of the sacrifices of our heroes. After our visit, the class decided to make presentations on stories of valor of the brave hearts we came across at the National War Memorial. We divided ourselves into 5 groups. We are choosing martyrs to make presentations depicting their courageous stories. Our teacher has also advised us to share our experiences during the school assembly. I am delighted that all the students of our school will get to know about the National War Memorial and the soldiers it commemorates. I am going to give a presentation on the story of Major Padmapani Acharya, who fought for India in the 1999 Kargil War and was awarded the Mahavir Chakra. On 28th of June 1999, Major Padmapani Acharya, as a company commander, was assigned the formidable task of capturing an enemy position which was heavily fortified, strongly held, and covered with mines and sweeping machine gun and artillery fire. Success of the battalion and brigade operation hinged on the early capture of this position. However, the company attack almost faltered at the very beginning when the enemy's artillery fire came down squarely on the leading platoon, inflicting large number of casualties. With utter disregard to his personal safety, Major Padmapani Acharya took the reserve platoon of his company and led it through raining artillery shells. Even as his men were falling to the murderous enemy fire, he continued to encourage his men and charged at the enemy up the steep rock face with his reserve platoon. Unmindful of the hail of bullets from the enemy's position, Major Padmapani Acharya crawled up to the enemy position and lobbed grenades. In this daring assault, Major Acharya was severely injured. Despite being seriously injured and unable to move, he ordered his men to leave him and charge at the enemy while he continued to fire at the enemy. The enemy position was finally overrun and the objective was captured. After completion of the mission, the officer, however, succumbed to his injuries. Major Padmapani Acharya displayed exceptional courage, leadership, and spirit of self-sacrifice in the face of the enemy. Before he went into battle, he wrote a letter to his father that he wasn't afraid or scared about losing his life while trying to protect the motherland. Quoting Srimad Bhagavad Gita, he went on to say, "If you fight, you will either be slain on the battlefield and go to the celestial abodes, or you will gain victory and enjoy the kingdom on earth. Therefore, arise with determination, O son of Kunti, and be prepared to fight." Here is the website link for National War Memorial, https://nationalwarmemorial.gov.in. Share it with your friends to learn more about it. We reached Bengaluru yesterday. I have written a long letter as I could not help sharing this inspiring experience with you. Give my regards to your mom and dad. I miss your mom's chole bhature. You know I am a foodie. Say hello to Amit, your friend, Sumya.